Okay, so I'm going to make this Thai noodle salad. Yeah, it's really a great meal, one of those meal salads, because it's got lots of stuff in it. It's kind of filling and tasty all at once. I've done some prep here. I've chopped up some things and measured out some things. But aside from that, there's just 3 steps. There's just 3 things we have to do. We have to cook the noodles, cook the edamame. Actually, that's 4 things. We're going to spiralize the zucchini, and then we're going to make a sauce. Okay, so I'm going to get started with that. So let me just say a word about edamame. Edamame is just young soybeans. They look like this. They're green. They're very delicious. They have kind of a nutty texture. I buy them frozen, and they cook in boiling salted water in about 4 minutes. You can buy them in the pod. They come in a pod also, and you can boil them in the pod, and then you just kind of pop them out. Excuse me. So, but I'm just going to go ahead and start these. I'm also going to start my noodles because they both cook about the same time. For noodles, you can use a spaghetti noodle or a pad thai noodle, a soba noodle. I happen to have some brown rice and millet ramen noodles. These are made by a company called Lotus, Lotus, and they make the best brown rice noodles. So I'm going to use these. If you look on the package, it says this is 2 servings, which there's maybe 2 servings for a 3-year-old. It makes about 1 serving for me. So I'm going to use 2 of these and put them in my water, which is boiling back behind me. And I'm also going to put the soybeans in boiling water at the same time. So let me get that going. I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes. And I might want to give the noodles a stir every now and then. Okay, so while those are boiling away, I am going to, what should I do next? I think I'll make the sauce. I thought I'd just use my little NutriBullet blender for that. So the ingredients for this are, I'm going to use half an avocado. So these are quite ripe, so I'm not sure, it may be overripe. We'll see. You never know till you cut it open, right? Oh, no, that looks good. Okay, so I just need half an avocado for this sauce. This is going to add the fat and creaminess that we love. And then I'm going to add some cherry tomatoes. I've already got some in a bowl here, and I've cut them in half. I'm going to add some plant-based yogurt. I really like this Kite Hill plain, unsweetened, almond milk, Greek-style yogurt. It's my favorite plant-based yogurt. It's got probiotics. It's really, really creamy, like, you know, a regular milk-based yogurt is. This recipe calls for 1/3 of a cup, which happens to be pretty much what I've got left. So I bought this yogurt at Whole Foods, and I really wish my regular grocery store carried it. But maybe I'll ask them, maybe they will. They carry other plant-based yogurts, but the only plain one they have is a coconut base. It's got a lot of saturated fat. Okay, wipe my hand here. Then we're going to add some seasonings. I have some of this chili garlic sauce. It's extremely spicy. So I'm just going to put in a tablespoon. That's a lot, actually. I put in half a tablespoon. If it needs more, I'll taste it later, and if it needs more, we'll add more. I'm going to add a little bit of maple syrup. So we're rounding out the flavors here. We've got, we've got our spicy, and we're going to cut it with a little bit of sweet. We're going to add half a teaspoon of cumin. Actually, I'm going to turn around now and stir my noodles. Okay, want them to sort of break up from those little cakes they were in. And then we're going to add some lime juice. My recipes are on my website, which is everydayplantbased.com there. And this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I thought it was maybe half a lime, but it may be, yeah, I think I'm going to have to add the juice of a whole lime. Okay, so we'll do that. I have another line here. So Thai flavors. The reason I call this a Thai noodle dish is because it has the lime, it has the garlic, it has the chili. I'm going to put some peanuts on top, which always adds. Yep, there's my timer. Okay, I'm going to go look at those noodles and see if I think they're done. I do think they're done. I think everything's done over here. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these in the sink. And then we'll proceed with the, I'm actually just going to drain these into the same colander. They're all going into the salad together. Okay, I'm going to run some cold water over it. So this is a salad. I call it a salad. And I would just probably serve it kind of at room temperature. You can always chill it. I'm running cold water over all these beans and noodles to stop them from cooking. Okay, so we're going to let those drain in the sink a minute. I'm going to go ahead and blend up this sauce. This little NutriBullet is quite powerful, and I like it because I have a Vitamix blender, which is also very powerful, but I like this for smaller quantities. It's easier to get your blended ingredients out of it. I'm going to taste it. I really taste the lime. I don't taste that chili so much, so I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of that tablespoon of chili sauce. Okay. Now I'll give this another blitz. Okay, and we're almost done. The only thing left to do is spiralize the zucchini. So this is a spiralizer I use. It's not an expensive thing. It's just sort of one of those gadgets. It comes with different blades. I'm using the blade that makes the smallest noodles. I mean, it also has a blade for just slicing, kind of like a mandolin, and it has a blade for larger holes. But we're using the one for the smallest, back in there, for the smallest hole. Rinse off my zucchini, I forgot to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and spiralize this. So for that, I just cut off the ends. Make sure, sometimes this is not a straightforward process, we'll see. Push it into these little needles at this end, and then there's a sharp little circle here. I'm going to push it against that. Okay. Now I push it and turn it. And as I do that, it starts to make noodles. I think you can see them coming through. It's very easy. I don't think I centered that very well. You can spiralize most vegetables. You can spiralize carrots, beets, sweet potatoes. I suppose you can spiralize white potatoes. And then some people do cook them after they spiralize them. We're just going to keep these raw. It's kind of a spiralized. This comes out too. This is like that went through that little round sharp thing. So here's my noodles. Look at that. They're really pretty. I kind of have zucchini noodles all over the place here. So another thing you can do when you spiralize is put a bowl underneath so they fall into the bowl and not all over your counter. I'm going to get this out of the way. Okay, so we're about done. I'm going to add in the zucchini, my noodles and my edamame here. I'm just kind of shaking it to get some of that water off. I'm going to get, I want to be able to stir this up. So let me get a spoon. I'm going to try to sort of pull apart some of these noodles that I didn't stir them a lot when they were cooking, and some of them are a little bit stuck together. I want to separate them out. Okay, the last thing to do here is just serve this up into a couple of bowls once I get it thoroughly mixed. So for a dish like this, you don't have to use the zucchini noodles. You could add a little bit extra rice noodles. Then you can add also some like blanched broccoli. Would be nice in it. Okay, I think this is the zucchini noodles is kind of interesting. They often come out as one extremely long noodle, so I am going to cut this up a little bit because I think it'd be easier to serve and easier to eat if they're a little bit more in pieces than in one mile long piece of zucchini. Okay, so I consider this 2 pretty big servings. It would be like a meal. would certainly make a really nice lunch. So I'm going to dish it out into these 2 bowls. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put some sauce over this first and mix that in. That'll be easier to mix it in this bowl than it will be in those servings bowls. Whoa, Karen, you're making a mess. Okay, I put about, looks like about maybe a 1/4 cup. Quarter cup on there. And I'm going to mix this in. So this is a sauce that has no oil, which is the way I like to eat. I don't use oil. It does have fat, of course, because it's got the half an avocado. And I'm not sure if Kite Hill yogurt. Kite Hill yogurt definitely has fat because it's made from almonds, and nuts are a source of fat. So it has fat, it just doesn't have oil, so it's more nutritious fat. I can really, this smells so good. Yeah, I think this would be a popular dish in most houses. If you don't like a lot of heat, you can dial down that chili garlic sauce because that's extremely spicy, I think. But when I tasted the sauce, it didn't seem bad at all. Okay, I think that's good. That's mixed in now. I'm just going to go ahead and make 1 bowl. So I always have these live broadcasts right around lunchtime, which is kind of nice for me because then I really get to eat something delicious for lunch. And my husband's not here at the moment. He'll be home later, so I'm not going to dish his bowl out quite yet. I'm just trying to get myself some of those yummy soybeans. Then we're going to put a few little toppings on it. I always like to add some carrots. I just go buy my carrots shredded. They have them at my grocery store, organic shredded carrots. So we'll put some of those on top. I add those to everything. We'll add a little bit of green onion because there was no onion in the sauce. So green onion there. I like to put peanuts. I always put, not always, but often put peanuts in salads. And then I'm also going to add, I chopped up some red bell pepper, which will make it pretty because it'll add some color. Wow, that's looking so good. And the last thing I'm going to do is put another spoonful of the sauce on top. This is going to be awfully delicious. You get a fork and I will taste it. So if you're watching today, I know there's a few people watching, just say hello and tell me where you're from. I always like to know who's participating with me. I also wanted to say, do you like my shirt, Powered by Plants? I have a few of these in different colors, and they're not flattering. They're just baggy old t-shirts, but I like the message. Okay, I'm going to see what this tastes like now. I'm going to try to get a bite that has a little bit of everything, a little noodle, a little soybean, a little red pepper. I love this. I love this salad. It's so delicious. I'm sorry you can't be here to have some with me. And actually, I'm tasting the heat. 1 tablespoon of that chili garlic sauce. I'm tasting the heat. Anyway, if you decide to make this, remember you can use different kinds of noodles. Try to look for whole grain noodles like brown rice noodles or whole wheat noodles. I know there's many other kinds. The kinds of noodles I like the best, I really like these Lotus brown rice noodles. And for pasta, I like the Jovial brand brown rice noodles. So those are my recommendations. If you all may have others that you've tried and you really like. I think it is a matter of testing different kinds. And anyway, I'm going to go and finish this salad. And I hope, I see some comments. Katrina's saying, hi, Katrina. Thank you. She says she's been watching. I'm going to put her on the screen. She's been watching from the start. So she deserves a shout out. Thank you very much. I appreciate being having folks watch during the lives. These are recorded, so you can always watch later too. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'll be back next Tuesday. I'm going to make some seitan, which is something I make every once in a while. We like to keep it on hand, keep it in the freezer. So I'll show you how to do that. So I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.